Welcome. This video is going to be data collection, and I start with stellarium, and I notice right here at 2 kilometers diameter. That's oh boy. I tell you, and they got it at 16.55 magnitude, and they got some new data. They don't have the Comet diameter. That they don't have, but I have that information. So this is where it's located right now, in Scorpio, the Scorpion. Moving in this direction. And here's Mars coming where they both meet right here on October, I'm going to say 3rd. I might be off, but if I'm off, I'm off. So that's where they meet. That's where you have all those spacecrafts orbiting Mars. You're going to have Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. It's not going to break orbit. It still has enough fuel till 2035, but the instruments are aging, and it's going to turn its camera around and hopefully take some close-up. Now, would it be revealed to the public? That I already know. Just like the web. Why in the hell do we have to wait till November to see the web's images? Why are they waiting to November after perihelion, supposedly on the 29th? So this is where it's at. And another thing I noticed too, the speed. Where is the speed? Speed. Got this totally different. The velocity right there. They got it at 63.089. So it's gone up from originally 60, now 63 kilometers per second. Let's take a quick look at Scorpio. Okay, constellation of words. This is a workshop. I'm not trying to make this video bonito. Interesting fact about the Scorpion. To slay the giant Orion. I'm just seeing what sticks out, like 3D. I wonder what Marcus Millennius got to say about the Scorpio. There it is right there. I'm gonna focus on this because this was during the time of Christ, and I believe, can't prove it, but I believe he was a magi that had access to the hall records in the Library of Alexandria. Odyssey. You know, I was thinking about Odyssey. Isn't that something? The book of Odyssey. I was gonna do something on that, and I didn't follow up. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video on Odyssey because when he takes the arrow and shoots, the queen puts it, they thought he was dead, and they put all these like sticks with holes in it, real long, and to get the queen you had to get the arrow, go through all the holes and hit the target. That's what 3i reminds me, the way he's traveling. Camouflage, the cloak, turn off his lights, stagnant magnitude. Seeing what else sticks out. Powerful sting. So the new data is saying 63 something. So the speed is increased. It's still increasing, but the perihelion is still at the same time as this right here at 11:29. They haven't changed that data. This was yesterday. It was at this right here distance in kilometers, 397. When it started, it was close to 500. So that's approximately 247, rounding it off, miles. It's closer now because this is yesterday or 2 days ago information, which which is approximately 2.659 AUs. Oh, just a side note, the harvest moon, which is once a year, happens on the 26th of September. Now this is from the 4th right here, and this was the distance, 510, rounding it off, kilometers. And they still had the perihelion at to the minute, that even though it increased the speed, which is in AUs, this right here. Now this, again, this information is 2 days old. Mars to Atlas is this right now. So it's past it's way past the halfway point. So if you go, let's say the closest Jupiter's orbital plane to Mars orbital plane, it's way closer. It's like football terminology. It's on the towards Mars, 30 or 35 yard line. 35 yard line. Jupiter to Atlas is 2.3. So it's way past the 50. How fast is it moving? Very fast. This is NASA now. I got this from NASA. When it was discovered, the interstellar comet was traveling at this speed. Okay, that was, or 61 kilometers per second. And its speed will increase as it approaches the sun. This is NASA's. They keep updating this. For those interested, they got the information here. That's where I got it from. Should have recorded this earlier, but everybody's got things to do. Now we go to the gallery. This is Michael Yeager. If you look, the brightness, look how it flashes at the end. And that star right there is way behind it. So it's not this interfering with the star. And if you look at Mr. 333 video that I have on the other, he will zoom in and with close-ups. What I'm sensing now, and I'm still waiting for the Bible code, ladies, people, to do a reading on this. They haven't yet. I guess it's not that important, or they don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're being prevented. Now we go to space weather to see if they got any new updates. They don't have the Comet section up. So what we do here is we just go back, let's say, to the 8th. Let's go to the 8th archives. And let's see if we can find the Comet. Here it is. Real-time Comet Atlas Gallery. And we're going to, okay, this is Michael Yeager. This is a new one. I didn't see this one yet. Let's take a look at this one first. There it is right there. Columbia. Okay, let's go back to Michael Yeager. Okay, Michael Yeager, this was on the 13th. It was still the full moon, kind of. I'll put a chart up. I did a chart in the other video. You can see the flash like a blinker. Let's take a look at this one. Okay. Kind of like a distortion around. Barely could see it. Let's see what he has to say. Strangely enough, the object remains. For him to say that carries weight, because he's one of the best in the world. The object remains unchanged compact with no significant changes in recent week. So in other words, it hasn't. The coma now measures 17 and the brightness has stagnated it at 16.3 magnitude. In other words, it's not brightening. It should be brightening. I mean, geez, this is like the first day this is like going back in July, what, first? And it still looks the same after a month and a half and being how much closer? I'll figure that one out later. At least 1 AU, 93 million miles closer, and it's still maintaining that at that magnitude. Remember, it should be in the 14 according to the beginning data. By now, 14 something. It's still no tail. And this here, so it should be where the pointer's at, and it has it making a slight right turn away from Mars. And NASA, let's check out their site. They don't have the MOAP. This the closest it might get. We'll check NASA in a little bit. So here's the data. It hasn't changed. Saying October 29th, 11/29, constantly not changing. It was over 500. Yeah, it was way. They say this is the what date? This was on the 731 or 400 astronomical units. That this is between Earth and Crete varies, but we're looking at 100. We're looking at 167 million miles from Crete's orbital plane. So what that means is, through prior experience and observation from numerous astronomer sites that I visit, Germany, Australia, Japan, South America. So they shown images of Crete, and it looked like real good. I wish I could pull it out right now, but I don't have the time to be fishing around. But let's see NASA's latest. It's at Earth distance 2.654, and they dropped the observations. This is on the 15th, so they're telling the public basically nobody's watching it. See, that's why I go to the VA. That's why psychiatrists. Not only because of the chemical poisoning that we all experienced, and the Democrats, Republicans, Congress acknowledge it. They got the facts. It is true, but yet we don't. So we go to the VA to get psychiatry, get medications because of things like this. For example, and the pareidolia. Through so much experience, how we've been burnt with Ellen, with Ison, with so many other comets. Lemon, they went blackout mode, or the satellite also went maintenance, and the airbrushing they do with Mars. There's no life there, but yet they show a helmet. Yet they show a face. Yes, they show part of a boat. Yes, they show. The pyramids. Oh, but there's nothing here. And there's probably some UFO flying in the background. Well, but there's nothing here. Ay, Dios mío. These people are not jodiendo, sabe? Son más mentiroso. So this is where it's located. Right there. So it's past the 50-yard line. Crete should be, orbital plane should be right here. I'll check the sky. Should be right here. Because once it gets in the beyond Crete orbital plane, and through prior experience, these small telescopes, minimum size telescope, big large telescope, I'm talking about the amateurs, not those observatories and space telescopes. They could take like the moon. So there's no reason they cannot capture this once it gets past that veil. Especially with the new moon darker. There's no full moon, so there's no obstruction. There's no hampering. It's a milagro que Michael Yeager Goyo Retrato took that picture and got that image. Imagine if he would have done it in a new moon. Oh Lord, it would have been so clear. But it's only a couple days away. Let's see what else I want to do. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about.
After 16 years, NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope has come to the end of its mission. Lifetime, Spitzer opened a window into the old, cold, and dusty universe. NASA announced in 2016 that Spitzer would be decommissioned in 2020.
See, the Spitzer, its orbit, it's on the other side now of our orbital plane. Let's take it back here. See, because it stayed on the orbital plane, but it drifted. Let's say when Earth is right here, where the pointer's at, right here, here's the sun. So when 3i Atlas comes by on the other side, right here, the Spitzer will be right here. Right here. Close up, folks. Close up. And that's one of the best telescope that I dealt with.
Decommissioned in 2018. During normal science operations, Spitzer could aim up to 30 degrees away from perpendicular to the sun. Any farther, and Spitzer's heat shield would no longer be able to protect the spacecraft. In fact, Spitzer had on exposure to sunlight would raise the temperature of its high gain antenna and struts. Well, the answer ultimately comes down to funding. NASA's budget is roughly 0.5% of the federal budget, and there are new missions coming. Possible end. On January 30th, spacecraft operators issued their final command to put Spitzer into safe mode. This mode powers down all non-essential systems and orients the solar panels towards the sun. Safe mode keeps the spacecraft in a power hibernation state while waiting for a recovery command from Earth. Only in this case, no such command will ever be sent.
Well, you hear what he said. It's in a sleep mode. I mean, it's already up there. They already paid for it. I mean, you could turn the sucker back on when 3i Atlas comes. They'll probably have it on. You're just not going to hear about it. They'll do it in some sort of bunker underground. Yeah, okay, from Australia. Who knows? From Antarctica. And turn that sucker on and take a close up. My God, it's on the other side of the sun when we're blinded. Don't think for a second they're not thinking about this.
Spitzer will remain in this attitude, sleeping in its orbit around the sun.
Okay, so that there information. And why did they use a blue filter when the color is still saying red? Yeah. Yeah. This is the Wolf Comet that I follow. That's why 2 novas, the death of the father star, men's star, stuff. It just connected perfectly into what I do. I mean, that was a trip following this comet. Okay, I asked my Grout 3, I call him Groot, give him a personality. I said, what is the size of this? The coma is now measured at 17, and it just went on here. It's saying that it could have been a telescope. And I said, coma size, gotta be direct. Give me the coma size. And the Rubin, back in June 21st, calculated it as 18,760 kilometers. That's roughly 660 miles. Let's see if we get some more data. Other estimates suggest the coma could be as big as 24,000 kilometers, 1,500 miles across. Larger than Earth diameter. Earth diameter is 12,742. And I put down what Yeager said. Michael Coma now measures this. He said, thank you for providing additional detail based on your input on August 13. And he got the 16-inch telescope with this camera. You know what? So I'm assuming Michael must have one of these big boys. Something like this. So I punched down what Grout said. Might be bigger. Okay, let's go back. I was just curious. Magnitude is 60. Still 60. Unchanged. Okay. Okay, now we're going to the arc second. It's breaking it down. Equals 43, 180 kilometers. That is roughly that in the cross. About 3.4 times Earth. So that puts it as the size of Neptune. Neptune, close to it, plus or minus. In July, they reported this. So if this data is right, so it's increased, that's the outer shell, the outer influence, the outer bubble. Then I ask it, it was from Earth at this AU's. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. So it's closer now. So I have to provide route 3 this additional information so it could learn and expand at the same time, which is approximately, I'm going to do editing later. This is me studying in the open. I'm not cutting. For what? People don't even give you thumbs up. I'm being C-word. I'm being Sierra Bravo, but I still got to do this. There's one nugget here that's going to help somebody put together their piece side of the piece of puzzle. So I say, hey, what about this one? Where does this go? Does that go by your side? Yeah, I needed that one. Ah, man, thanks. So now what do we got here? I still say it's not a comet. It's a visitor. It could be an arc. It could be the destroyer. It could be both. Take out the good. God probably say, take out the good before you are allowed to do whatever you want to do. Do whatever it is you got to do. So in summary, it's approximately this. In summary, imagine Michael taking an image of, and we got this $1 billion telescopes around the world in space. You already heard about the Spitzer. It's in sleep mode. It's on the other side of the sun. Turn it on. It's already paid for. It's already there. You don't even have to build one. All you gotta do is charge that sucker up, get the old staff back, and get the old computer, whatever, and get it running. Period. Simple. Oh well, we can't do that. It better take over. We don't got the budget. It's national security. It's worldwide security. Oh, we got our bunkers already set up. We're ready. We're ready. See, this is the VA's fault. They won't. I can't get the. I'm gonna use them as an excuse, since they don't want to treat me or see me. I just blame it on the chemical exposure, which it is, and the horror. It never happened. It's focus. Okay, let's just go to the nitty gritty. Arc seconds in July was. I asked him how big is 10 arc seconds. How many miles increased from 10 arc seconds to 17? Just a number, 4,890. So it keeps jumping size. That was July. Now it's saying 17 diameter. In kilometers. Okay, I'm back asking the questions. I'll say, what is the kilometer in miles? That right there. What is it in AUs? This was one in the beginning, back in I think it was July 1st, July 2nd. So it went from that to this. This numbers in miles. From that now to yesterday, this. That's a difference of 70 million, probably 71 by now or more. In AUs, what is it in AUs? So it got closer. That in AUs. How far is Mars and Jupiter at its closest point? Now I'm trying to get the distance, and I'll just go straight to the conclusion. The difference is this right here, between Jupiter's orbital plane and Mars, like the closest point. I'm just trying to, I'm looking at it from the orbital plane, just to get an idea where 3i Atlas is. Is it on the 50-yard line, or on the 45, or on the 40? on Mars side. So now we know to determine the halfway point, we need to access the relative closest distance between these two planets. The halfway point will be roughly, so that's the 50-yard line between Jupiter and Mars. Okay, let's use orbital plane. Conclusion. Yes. Closer to Mars. So this is the to a 3i atlas to Mars is 0.7 AUs. Now where 3i is at right now, let's say going back to Jupiter, it'll be 2.3. Man, that puts it like on the 35-yard line. Yeah, about the 35. Ooh, I gotta make some coffee. About the 35-yard line towards Mars and zone. Okay, here, check this out. How fast? Remember, it was yesterday. Now it's doing 63 plus. How fast in miles per hour is 62.9 kilometers per second. Then it gives a number here, which is 140,770.26 miles per hour. 140. Remember in the beginning, what was it? 137? The NASA link that I put. Okay, back to the speed over here. NASA site was traveling at this speed at 61. So now it's 140. It's probably faster now after the increase. Okay, I put the number, yesterday's speed. This was the last report that I got. Now I know it was 000. But that's an increase of 3,396. That's higher now. It's probably 3,400 blah blah miles per hour faster. How fast does a bullet travel in miles per hour? Go nugget time. Okay, the fastest bullet, miles per hour, the gun, this one. Let's use 3,000 miles per hour, faster than a speeding bullet. I have a video on that, was the old Superman. Let's see here. So it went from this, which now it was 000, to this, which is now higher because of the speed. Now it's passed over 63. So I wanted to get an idea. The fastest conventional bullet that reaches 3,000 miles per hour, far slower than the Comet speed. How many in miles per hour? The difference right there by times percentage. Okay, I want a percentage. Use the number miles per hour. It's the closest to Mars. We still don't. Oh, I do have the MOID. I do have the minimum distance it could get to Mars. I have it. Let's continue here. Okay, Mars orbiter may observe at 0.2 AUs equals from Mars in October. Any other spacecraft? It was suggesting this one. I said any other? Okay, here's the Mars reconnaissance. Now it gets very interesting. This is the lifespan. When are they going to end Mars Reconnaissance Orbital's mission? They say it still has sufficient fuel to operate to 2035. Oh, these things are showing signs of no other Mars orbiter are confirmed act based on current data. Can they send it to 3i Atlas? I assume you're asking whether and it goes on and on and on. Conclusion, no. So you can't not send any of those space towards 3i Atlas. Yes or no? No. Can they send images? Yes. Right here, folks. Right here. can send images of the interstellar comet during its close approach to Mars, 17.66 million miles in October. Are they planning it? Yes or no? Yes. Are they planning it? Yes or no? Yes. Where can I see posts and data? To view data and posts on Mars Reconnaissance, blah, blah, blah. Can I access information on this site? And it gives me sites. And I did check those sites. And there was no information. Nada. I looked everywhere. Nada. Nada. Planning confirmation. NASA site. Right there. What does the article about this say? I assume every time I say I assume, I'm thinking it's got to be a female I'm talking to. my group 3's a female. Okay. And it went on and on and on and on. I'm just trying to get to the nuggets. I know the video's long. This is a work study. This is me studying at 1 o'clock in the morning and tired, but I'm gonna do this. And I'll edit this down later. I'll just I'm not really, if I can't get to 975 subscribers after all this, I can't even get to it. And my view counts, you see how they're being kept below, being tampered with by 3-letter agency road. So being prevented is critical, a piece of a puzzle. I always said that I bring 1% to the table. In this case, I'm bringing more than 1%, because a lot of you that lasted this long, probably 99.9999% already gone because impatient. But those that really are not prejudiced about the language barrier, the communication skills, that can understand that the NASA Mars orbiters plan to observe. We got that already. Where to find posts and data? I understand you're looking for a specific article. See what I mean? And it keeps sending me here, but I looked there. Why can't you find the article? What to look for? Posts. So the article is not nowhere to be found, but yet they're planning to do this. It makes sense. It's a smart way. It's a smart thing to do, especially if it's a visit. I mean, there might not be no 2035. All you gotta do is spin the sucker around like you did with the other comet. The article hasn't been published yet as of August 15th. It would appear if you have a specific title. How long would it take for a speeding bullet to reach the moon? Now I'm going back to the moon. At 3,000 miles per hour. To reach the moon with a speeding, in other words, if you shot at the moon, it would take it 3.3 days. 3 days. 3 days. So the 3.335 increase in speed, which roughly I just rounded it off to 3,000 miles per hour. It's easy to do math. So the speed increase, like if you threw a bullet into the torso, using your imagination, thinking out of the box, it would take it 3.3 days. So that's pretty fast increase. And it's just a slight increase, but still an increase in the kilometers per second. See what else I said? 3 days. Is that right? Yes, approximately 3 days. I'd say, no way, no freaking way, man. A bullet could reach the moon in 3 days. Man, shit. How long would it reach Mars at its closest point? See, that's okay. It would reach Mars. Okay, it would have to travel this fast to reach Mars. It would take how long? Conclusion: it would take. Focus. 470 days. Okay, let's round it off. 471 days. That's like a year, 0.2. Wow. How come we don't make rocket ships that fast? Oh, that's 1.2 years. That's long. Then I use the number it does. it went down to 1.1 years to Mars. At 63 kilometers per second from the sun to Earth, this is in case it does a wraparound and is doing the same speed. It would take, at this speed, approximately, at that speed, let's say, thinking out of the box, using imagination, just in what if, what if, like a science fiction movie. If it does decide to stop and then spin around and come from us, thinking tactically, like in the World War II pilots used to see your fighter as bombers, and then all of a sudden they come out of the sun, and before you realize it, they're on top of you. That's the strategy I would use, and use their cloaking device. They got a cloaking device. Jeez, we got cloaking device. So what does it mean brightness has stagnated? It did have, and I did read it. Now I can't find it because my eyes are heavy. Stagnated brightness could indicate it's a low activity, possibly deleted, evaporated from a long journey. In other words, it burned off. It's liquid, burned off the ice, burned off everything. And they keep using this who came up with the 7 billion years old stuff? Suppose it's a Stargate, like the movie Stargate, and the ancient Hopi with the Stargate. It jumps from one doorway to another doorway. We don't know what's behind the curtain, the veil. Let's see what else I said. Yes, and why has it stagnated? It's keeping its brightness the same as it was almost a month ago plus. The same. It's impossible. It's impossible, folks. It's almost a 1 AU close. It's finally leaving that where all the clusters, billions and billions and billions, who knows, trillions of stars are located at. I mean, if you couldn't even find Waldo if you spend your whole lifetime in that. Now that it's leaving, now it's getting into, it's in Scorpion, there's less density. And when it gets to the scale of justice, it'll be lesser density. In other words, it's losing its camouflage from behind, but it's maintaining its colors, cats a distortion around it. It's dimming its lights. It's intelligent. This sucker is probably millions or billions years ahead of us. It could do anything. And that we're seeing why is the Webb telescope waiting till November? Just go to Walgreens, the 1 hour photo shop. Darn it. I'm just being humorous. And I said, is it a spaceship? No. Right away. Then I play with it. I know it's already programmed to say that. It's okay. Let me play with it. What are the percentage? It is a spacecraft. The likelihood that an interstellar spacecraft extremely low. Effectively 0%. Based on current scientific data and evidence and censorship. I mean, consistency, whatever. So it's giving it a 0%. It doesn't even have an open mind because it's programmed. And okay, and I play with it. Give me the image of the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter next to Mars, and look what it gave me. Can't even get the damn Mars Reconnaissance. And look at that. Was that 2 Mars? One down there, one up here, and that's not nodes. Yeah. Okay. So that's all that is for now. That father out.